Want a sword? Get a mentor. Hey, it's Nina Carmichael. We made this video is probably because you're the most ambitious person in your circle. You know you're capable of more and you get that punch by surrounding yourself with the best. So today let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, how to fix your mindset and win as an introvert. Enjoy! Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Fix your thinking.
How you think about the problem is the problem. Most people are locked into losing thinking, finding all the reasons why you won't win. If you're the ant, think about how you can kill the elephant. If you're the elephant, think about how you can kill the ant. The problem is not the problem. How you think about the problem is the problem. So I used to think that introverts couldn't win. I used to think that to be a good speaker, to have a YouTube channel, to be an entrepreneur, that introverts can't win. And for the longest time, I hid behind the faces on my website. So before even starting YouTube, I started on my website. It was called evancarmichael.com. I didn't have a better name at the time. And I profiled different successful entrepreneurs. Basically what I do on YouTube, but on my website, because I wanted to share the stories. Modeling success saved my business, and I wanted to make it easier for other people to be able to get success on their own as well. So learn who's done it, apply those strategies, make it work for you, and let's go. And so I always hid behind the faces. I remember my first banner, I had Howard Hughes, a big Howard Hughes, Oprah Winfrey, and a couple other people. And people kept asking me, well, where's Evan Carmichael? You know, the website's off your name, you're putting this together, what's your story? And I thought, well, who cares about my story? I mean, sure, I built and sold my first business, but it's nothing compared to Howard Hughes and Oprah Winfrey, these people who've done great things. And it kept coming up over and over and over again. Translate that to my YouTube channel, Evan Carmichael was still the #1 requested top 10. And when I first started doing top 10s, we did Kanye West, shout out to Kanye there on the wall, and then a bunch of other people kept asking for mine. I'm like, well, what do you want mine? I mean, again, what have I done compared to Kanye West? And I always hid behind the fact that I was an introvert. And so I don't want to share my story, nobody's interested, I'm shy, I'm the wallflower, I don't go off and try to make myself the center of attention, I don't like, hanging out with people. And so I had this story that introverts can't win. It wasn't until I reframed it and thought, you know what, introverts can win in communications because we're better listeners. I'm a great listener. As much as you might think I love talking and making these videos and seeing the speeches that I do, what I love doing more than that is listening. And I think that's how you win as an introvert, because it's not about you just sharing, talk, look at me. It's you're trying to help. And I've met some amazing introverts who are on a huge mission and want to have a big impact and have to fight with themselves to get out of their comfort zone and have the spotlight on them instead of just being behind the scenes. But they're all great listeners. They become great communicators because they're great listeners. And so the problem wasn't that I'm an introvert. The problem is how I thought about the problem of being an introvert. So how can you fix your thinking about the problems in your life? I'm going to give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is ask yourself, what is the single biggest problem you're facing right now? Right now, in your life, in your business, what do you think is the #1 problem that is holding you back? Either write it down or hold it in your mind. What is that big problem? For me, I thought it's because I am an introvert. What's yours? The second thing is, how will you change your thinking? So you have that problem. Guess what? Lots of people have that same problem and are off crushing it. The only reason why you're not is the story that you're telling yourself. And so what is the change in thinking that you want to make? So for me, is that being an introvert, I can win because I'll be a better listener, and that's how I'll leverage being an introvert to be a good communicator. How are you going to change your thinking? And then step number 3 is have play bigger triggers. Play bigger triggers is a term I came up with to describe things that are in your environment that make you play bigger. So putting this on makes me play bigger. Having the Doritos here, damn the Doritos, makes me play bigger. The people behind me, right? Kanye over there and all these people makes me play bigger. The awards down there and the neck brace on the cabinet and the videos that I make, they're all play bigger triggers. What it means is you set something up once and then it reminds you consistently every day that you're supposed to be playing at a higher level. So that change that you want to make, you have the problem that you have the change that you want to make. What are the play bigger triggers that you want to create so that you can set them up once? Physical environment, screens on your desktop and cell phone, and habits and routines that you're gonna do daily so that you don't have to remind yourself all the time, like, oh yeah, I'm trying to do this. You have elements in your environment that are hitting you with it every single day, showing you that it's possible and making you play bigger.
If you want to have more confidence and motivation, check out our 254 series. The link is in the description below.
And you have an overview of what your book is all about, and you write into them. There's usually a general email address so you can connect with them.
You can use rejection as fuel to help you go off and do something bigger and motivation to, I'm going to prove them wrong.
Surround yourself with greatness. If you want to be more confident, you need to surround yourself with things that make you feel confident.
Rule number 2, lose the scarcity mindset.
You are staying small because you're afraid. You're afraid of the worst case scenario coming true, losing, having no money, and being embarrassed. But you know you're capable of more. You know the way that you're going about doing things right now is nothing compared to what you're capable of. Unless you lose that scarcity mindset, you're always gonna stay small, knowing that you are capable of more. Today I'm gonna show you how. So one of the easiest ways to get out of your scarcity mindset is to go from idea to action. As soon as you get an idea, you do something about it. And sometimes often that idea is gonna be too big, too scary, too crazy, you can't do it, who are you to do this, you don't have the money, resources, time, connections, energy, right? All of that, all of the excuses that come into your head. I like to teach myself that as soon as I get an idea, I go do something. It may not work, but you have genius ideas, trust them, go do something. So this is great, this is a grant video because when I did my tour in 2019, that's January to April, we hit 23 different cities over 90 days. And at the beginning, I was trying to find different sponsors that would help out with travel, accommodations, because it was me, Nina, my film guy, Danny, and all of our gear. It was mostly Danny's gear. Lighting, and we had speakers and camera gear and all of this stuff. And we ended up renting a Suburban and driving across America. But before doing that, I emailed Grant. And I said, hey, Grant, can I use your plane for 90 days for my tour? And to his credit, the email that he wrote back was, what's the upside? Not, no, not forget about it, not, do you know how much it costs? And just jet fuel and you know, my pilot, and then I can't use my plane for 3 months. He said, what's the upside? I said, well, listen, I'm gonna let everybody in my audience know about you. And listen, we didn't get a deal. We didn't make it happen. But it's that idea of going from idea to action, right? And I still do a lot with Grant, right? Making this video, helping promote all the stuff that he's up to. We're looking at doing something together when I go to Miami next. And so that one exchange didn't ruin the relationship. And I'm happy to share it publicly. Maybe that's embarrassing for some people, right? But the idea of trusting your ideas. You get an idea, you go do something. It may be too big, it may be scary. You might have people say no, even if the most likely answer is no, right? The most likely answer might be no. The most likely answer to me asking Grant that question is no, right? It's a no. But if I don't ask, it's a no 100%. Don't take the no away from somebody else. It might be 99.999% no, but there's still a little chance. Maybe there's a yes somewhere in there. Trust your ideas, do something. I did, and still continue to do. And that's how you escape scarcity mindset. That's how you escape playing small and actually go down and chase the life that you want to live. So let's get more specific. I'm gonna give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is idea to action. So as soon as you get that idea, you don't judge it, you don't think about it, you don't say, why me? You just go and you do something. Find the smallest possible way to just get started, right? So you just trust that the idea came to you. I believe that ideas flow through you. You got that idea for a reason. Why are you thinking about it? Don't worry about why you're thinking about it. Just go do something about it. Find the smallest possible way to just go do something about it. You are a genius, therefore you come up with genius ideas. Not all of them work out. Maybe the timing was wrong, maybe the execution was wrong, but it's still a great idea because you came up with it. Therefore, it is a great idea and you have to go do something about it. So trust your ideas and go from idea to action. Step number 2 is what I call the 2% difference. Here's what happens. Most of the time when people come up with an idea, you default into planning mode. Planning, strategy, thinking, researching, and then you wake up the next day and you're back to square one. You're back to normal. Like the energy that you got, the boldness, the courage that you had is gone. because you woke up the next day. So you've wasted your best time, your best momentum, that peak in energy on planning, where what I want you to do is use that for action. So the 2% difference is, instead of planning to get to 100%, which is what most of us will do, you come up with an idea and then plan how it's gonna happen, 100%, to finish line. You don't even know what the finish line is gonna be. Stop thinking you even know where it's gonna be. Instead of worrying about the 100%, focus on the first 2%. The first 2%. I have this idea. What can I do right now that will get me 2% of the way, right? You wanna make a YouTube video? Great, pull out your phone, start recording. That's 2%. You wanna remind yourself to breathe? This is one thing we have on our door. Every time I leave the door, every time I leave my condo, there's a sign that says breathe, right? Because I wanna remind myself to breathe. Practice my Wim Hof. Take 30 breaths in and out as I walk outside my condo every time. I put that there as a play bigger trigger for myself. But it's easy to think, well, if I'm gonna put a sign on my door, then I need it to be a certain size, and I need to be the perfect picture, and I need it to be framed, and you make it bigger and then you don't do anything. That's the biggest problem, you just don't have momentum. You're not doing enough. And so step number one, the 2% difference is, I took out a sticky note and I just wrote breathe and I stuck it on my door. And it's a reminder every day to breathe. It doesn't mean that you can't go back and plan. It doesn't mean that you can't replace it with something nicer, bigger, better. Yes, of course, planning has its role, but not as a first step. Your first step is action. If your first step is planning, you're losing. If your first step is planning, that's why you're a perfectionist. That's why you don't have momentum happening against your ideas. Your first step, idea into the first 2%. And then step number 3 is tie your self-worth to the effort, not the result. This is where, again, so many entrepreneurs will fail, is because you tied your self-worth to the outcome of you accomplishing that thing. If you woke up and you only did things that you knew you were gonna win at, you're gonna play small for life. You're only doing things inside your comfort zone because you know you're gonna win at them, right? Or a very high degree chance you're gonna win. If that's all you ever take on, you play small for life. But if you're going outside your comfort zone, taking on new projects, growing as a human, learning, getting better, taking on new challenges that are bigger and beyond you, most days you're actually gonna wake up and fail because you're doing something new. But if you woke up every day and were proud of the effort you were putting in, you're proud of yourself for the effort, you're putting in your max effort, you're trying to make the best video you can, you're trying to make the best product or service you can, you're proud of yourself for the effort every single day, you're gonna create amazing things. Way beyond what you thought you're capable of, and way more than the person who just sits inside their bubble doing things that they know they're gonna win at. Tie your self-worth to the effort, not the results.
Now I've got a very special bonus clip on ignore the bad advice that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. What is your single biggest takeaway from this video? What are you going to do to take action? If you made it this far in the video and you promise to take action after watching, we don't just watch a video, we do something. I want to celebrate you. Give me a hashtag believe in the comment below.
The people who are telling you that your idea won't work are not the people whose life that you want. So why are you listening to them? Your Uncle Joe, your Aunt Susan, the rest of your family, the people who you grew up with from high school, look at their life. Look at their life right now. Take away their words and what they're telling you, remove the emotion from it. Look at their life. Do you want a life like theirs? Because their advice will lead to a life like theirs. If not, then you probably should be doing the exact opposite of what they're telling you to do. Now, I think there's 2 types of people who will give you negative feedback. You got the haters, and then you got the people who are just ignorant. And there's a big difference between those 2. So let's start with the haters. The haters, I call the little man, the haters, their entire role in their life is to bring other people down. Maybe they took their shot. This is actually quite frequent. They took their shot, they tried, they didn't work, they failed, and so now nobody around them can be successful. They get their value, they get their self-love by destroying other people because it makes them feel better about themselves. It's like watching some train wreck on reality TV show, right? Watching relationships and lives fall apart because it makes you feel better about your life. You feel better about your life when you see somebody else's life be a total mess, right? Those are the haters. Now, how do you deal with them? It starts by understanding that if you believe, like I believe, that humans are built to serve, right? People are built to serve. You want to do good. People are good, right? Both of those things. Humans are good and we're built to serve. Then what would get somebody who is good and built to serve to leave a nasty negative comment or to tell you that you suck or your deal is not going to work out? What would drive them to do it? They really hate their life, right? Like empathy is the first step. Just feeling bad for them, not sympathy and using that as a negative against them. Not saying, well, your life sucks, so I'm not going to. That's not going to help anything. It's actual genuine empathy. If the highlight of somebody's day is coming to this video and leaving a negative comment, it's okay. I feel bad for that person. If that's the highlight of your day, then you must be in a really rough spot if you believe that people are good and they're built to serve. And so what that does is remove the sting out of the comment. When somebody is raging on you that you suck and that your idea is never going to work, having empathy to understand, wow, this person is likely in a really tough spot, that removes the sting of the words and allows you to then be more practical, less emotional, to respond emotionally and feel like, oh my God, maybe they're right. Maybe they have a point. Maybe I do suck. Say, wait a minute. This person, they hate their life. Why am I listening to them? Right? Just like the wake up call out of the head game that you're in. Listening to their advice. So those are the haters. Remove the sting and then allow you to make a practical decision. The second part are the people who are ignorant. They're your friends, your family, the people around you who they actually love you, right? Chances are your parents love you. Your mom probably loves you, right? Most moms love their kids. Your parents probably love you. So why would they be telling you not to go do something? Why would they be telling you advice against what you want to hear? Because they grew up in a different era. Your parents are pilgrims. Your parents don't understand the world that exists. Your parents don't understand that you can have a full-time business from this. It doesn't make sense. When your parents were your age, they couldn't do the things that you can do. So they want you to be successful. The people around you who love you want you to be successful. They have a different definition of success. Success to them looks different than it does for you because they're from a different era. And that's okay. Again, starting point is empathy. Understand that these words that are coming out of their mouth is love. They're trying to express love. They're concerned for you. They want you to win. They just have a different version of what winning looks like.
If you want to learn what is the single most important thing that you can learn right now, check out the video next to me. I think you're gonna enjoy. I will see you there. Bye.